now to the Israel-Hamas war. A new statement by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today stressed conditions for ending the war, quote, have not changed. But yesterday, President Biden laid out a ceasefire proposal and said Hamas has been severely degraded.
At this point, Hamas no longer is capable of carrying out another October 7th. It's one of the Israelis' main objectives in this war. It's time for this war to end, for the day after to begin.
All right, joining me now is Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Legislative Affairs in the Obama administration. Joel, thanks so much for being here. It sounds like President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu have a fundamental difference of opinion in whether the goal of defeating Hamas has been achieved. So now what?
Yeah, Allison, it's great to be with you. And this is a difference that is really in the negotiation process. And I think what you see with President Biden is real American leadership in trying to lay out a vision that provides comprehensive security and stability for Israel and a pathway to normalization between Israel and its Arab neighbors. And this is based upon an assessment that Hamas has been degraded to a point where it cannot conduct the kind of horrific attack that it did on October 7th to start this whole war. And I think the president sees a window of opportunity. And so what he did yesterday is he spoke publicly in a very clear, clean way to the Israeli people and said, look, these are the stakes. Here's an opportunity. I believe that we have a pathway forward. And he's putting the pressure on the prime minister to continue to lean forward on negotiations. And remember, I want to add, the Israelis did propose this three-step process and they agreed to it. And he's trying to keep them in the fold while putting a lot of pressure on Hamas to accept it.
But it doesn't sound like Prime Minister Netanyahu agrees with the assessment that Hamas has been degraded.
Well, he's got a lot of internal dynamics that he has to manage, and certainly in his coalition, there's going to be a lot of pushback from the far right, from ministers like Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, who are opposed to any kind of agreement at all whatsoever between Israel and the Palestinians and pulling out forces from Gaza. But he's going to have to negotiate this in the coming days. There are factions within Israeli politics. For example, Benny Gantz, who's a member of the War Cabinet, is calling for new elections and trying to get the parliament dissolved. Prime Minister Netanyahu has to look in the mirror at this moment and decide, does he want to be on the side of long-term security for Israel? And if so, he needs to grab this idea that President Biden has put forward that the Israelis themselves and their security establishment does see as an important component to long-term security for Israel.
I mean, but given those dynamics, as you laid out, does President Biden's stance hold any sway with Netanyahu?
It does. Look, this is first of all, America is the best friend of Israel, without a doubt. And President Biden's been the best president for Israeli security that we've ever seen. Recently, just in April, shooting down Iranian missiles launched at Israeli territory. And the Israeli people know that. His very high approval ratings, much higher in Israel than Prime Minister Netanyahu. And so he's going to negotiate. And remember, President Biden is a tough negotiator and a savvy one. He built a multinational coalition with NATO expansion included to oppose Russia's invasion of Ukraine. He negotiates with Republicans all the time against legislative priorities through the House. He's been at this for a number of decades. And so he sees a window right now to push and cajole Prime Minister Netanyahu to agree to move forward. And I think that this is a realistic path that he's laid out. It's one that the Israelis have talked about at the negotiating table for months. And this is not out of their realm of possibility. So he's trying to seal this deal right now.
Obviously, it's one thing to talk about policy and diplomacy, and then it's another thing to look at what's happening on the ground. We have some video out of Gaza last night, and basically it shows the sun setting there over the sea as Palestinians are sitting in, what looks like the bombed out ruins. And so, how involved will the U.S. be in helping to rebuild whatever was there?
Yeah, Allison, it's heartbreaking. Gaza and what the people of Gaza have experienced because of Hamas's launch of that war on October 7th and the continual holding of hostages, which has demonstrated their lack of concern for human life. The third part of this proposal that the president laid out requires and includes, that is, construction and reconstruction supported by the international community, by Arab Gulf states who could be participants in this, by neighbors in the region. The United States, though, is the essential glue. Without us, none of this happens. We must be involved, and we will be involved. Part of the first phase of the deal also would be to provide 600 trucks daily of humanitarian assistance. That's crucial for the people in Gaza right now. So you can see the United States playing a critical role throughout the process to make sure that all of our allies in the region, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, you name it, that they come to the table and help to reconstruct Gaza after this war.
Joel Rubin, thanks for all the information. Great to have you on.
Thanks, Allison.